Hello, Joker Plays here, and today's video has everything to do with the new update in LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, specifically the Storm King. That's right, folks. I'm going to show you all the steps it takes to be able to get to the Storm King, and once you get there, what it's going to take to defeat him. So stay tuned. Now, when you load into your worlds for the first time, you may notice some things that are a little different. That's okay. Just know that the game has changed the physics just a little bit, so some of your flying aircraft may or may not function the way they used to. As you load into your new world, you're going to notice a new villager visiting by the name of Caden, who's going to tell you that you need to find the Storm Chaser's base camp, which is going to be your first step in finding the Storm King. The good thing about this is it's actually going to mark the base camp on your map. So after you talk to him, you're going to want to find out where this base camp is and start heading in that direction. Now, as you arrive at the Storm Chaser base camp, what you're going to want to do as a helpful tip is to go ahead and put down a bus station right away so that you can go back and forth. And believe me, you are going to go back and forth to this place a lot here in the beginning for sure. Now, this is where the grinding is going to begin. You're going to have a whole lot of tasks that you're going to have to do in order to start upgrading this village to the point that's going to give you what you need in order to get to the Storm King, period. But you are also going to have to go and fight other storms along the way. So just know there's a lot of tasks before you can get to the Storm King. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff like putting down a metal smelter, building a cannon, defeating specific enemies. There's going to be a lot of steps along the way, but just remember, just grind them out, make it happen. You're going to get to the Storm King, no worries there. As you upgrade your Storm Chaser village, at one point you're going to notice a purple storm in the distant background. Trust me, it's easier to see at night, but you're going to want to start heading in that direction. It's not going to appear on your map just yet, but that's going to be the first storm that you're going to want to head towards. As you get there, know that you're going to be fighting some enemies, so make sure you come prepared. And also, pro tip, bone wolves also spawn at night, even in grasslands as well now, so be aware of that. Once you cross that storm wall, just know you have a timer that's going to appear on the top of your screen. That is how much time you have in the storm before it rifts you out of the storm. You don't actually die, you just rift out, but just be mindful of that timer. There are ways that you can set this timer to be longer in the form of some shakes that you'll end up making later on. Also, there's some charms that you can equip if you want to do so, but just know there's a timer and it's only going to rift you out. Check out this cool animation as it rips you right out. So awesome. So awesome. One of the items that you're going to want to make sure you collect is going to be Storm Fruit. Storm Fruit is what's going to allow you to build those shakes that'll extend your time inside of the storm wall. Those become important in the game, so make sure you get those. You're going to get them from enemies dropping them, as well as certain plants that are found inside those storms. In order to upgrade your Storm Chaser base camp to level 5, this is when you're going to have to enter the storm for sure, as well as to pop the bud plants. Those are the exploding plants you're going to see that will pop around the storm area. And then you're going to want to make sure you also collect 10 storm fruit as well. Your ultimate goal is to get to the center of the cave structure you see formed in the middle of the storm. Here's where you're going to find a rift that's going to take you into the rift cave itself. Once you're in, you no longer need to worry about taking those storm shakes at all. This is where the fun really starts to begin. What you're going to do is complete a series of tasks in order to descend further and further and further into the cave to where you can go in and defeat the boss. In this case, it's going to be Raven. So, first level, defeat crystals. Second level, you're going to have to defeat some bigger enemies, destroy the boss in 3 different waves. Then you'll go back to crystals again for another one, find 3 of those, break them. And then after that, another wave of enemies. Eventually, you're going to get to the point to where you fight Raven, the boss of the storm, for the first time. The real good news is that for each wave or each level of these crystals and enemies that you defeat, you are going to get rewarded with a chest that you can open up that's going to give you some much needed resources and weapons as well. Now, while going through the caves, it is very doable to fight this single-handedly, especially if you have a villager with you. But I'm going to be honest, not only is it a lot more fun, but it becomes a lot more easier when you have an awesome partner side by side. And here's where Sir Laughs-A-Lot joins me in the game, and we're going to tackle the rest of the challenges together.
Thanks. Appreciate the warning.
And just like that, we made it to the final boss, known as the Thunderlord, and Sir Laughs-A-Lot and I took him out quickly. And just to give credit, the villager helped a lot too. Just know that. And just like you defeated the other levels, you're going to get rewarded with a chest as well, with some much needed supplies and excellent weapons as well. As you defeat the enemies inside of the storm cave, you're going to be awarded with rift crystals along the way. Those are going to be what you're going to use in order to build your legendary forge, which is going to allow you to build advanced legendary weapons as well. After defeating the first Storm King, you're going to want to look on your map, because now you're going to see another storm appear, as well as the location of the Storm King. They may be different on your map, but on mine you can see that they're relatively close to one another. But my next step is to go ahead and defeat yet another storm cave. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I did before with Sir Laughs-A-Lot, but yet again on the new cave. Now, just like we did at the Storm Chaser base, you're going to want to put down a bus stop at each one of these locations so that you can come back whenever you want to feel frisky and defeat these caves and bosses time and time again. And just like we did in the Storm Cave, we're going to go right into the rift, attack each one of the levels, and defeat the boss, and we're good to go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Don't forget that throughout this journey, you're still going to be upgrading your Storm Chaser's base camp. So make sure you do all the items needed to upgrade everything associated with that as well. If you happen to make it to the Storm King too soon, you're going to see that an arcane lock is keeping the gateway closed. That is because at this point, you need to go find Raven, defeat Raven, and that's going to give you the unlock necessary in order to defeat the Storm King. So that is the next step in this process. The location for Raven will be marked on your map. Simply head there, and once you get there, you will see a really neat looking building with a rift on the inside that's going to take you to the dungeon in which you're going to go down and fight Raven. And just like that, Sir Laughs-A-Lot and I make very quick work of Raven, and now it's time to head towards the Storm King. Once you make it to the Storm King Island, the next thing to do is to power up the gateway, and to do that, you're going to need 10 Eye of the Storm orbs. Those should be in your inventory before you come here ready to go. And another tip, make sure your heals are equipped ready to go as well going in. As you fly in, you're expected to pull your glider and go and head straight for that platform you see there in the middle. That's where the boss battle is going to take place. Before you get to face the Storm King, you're going to be fighting a series of enemies that are going to spawn throughout the bottom of the map. Be patient, be skillful, and very direct in defeating all of those enemies.
I think it's him.
Once you defeat those waves of attacks, you're going to see the Storm King appear for the first time. Now's where the patience really starts. Here's the funny part. There's absolutely nothing to do except dodge his attacks until you see weak points appear on your screen. This is when you can attack him in a way that will hurt him.
Oh, there we go.
You're going to want to aim for those weak points. Shoot them with arrows. And if it helps, fly mode makes it a little easier.
Okay.
Ultimately, you're trying to get to the point to where the storm horn gets exposed. This is the point in which you can start to really defeat the enemy or knock down a lot of his power. This is also low enough right now at this point to where you can attack it with a sword, and it's going to make it just a little bit easier as well.
Okay, one more horn to go.
So with the first horn taken out, the next step is to wait, dodge all of the attacks that he does, and wait until he exposes the weak points once again. In this next wave, you are going to notice that enemies will spawn at the bottom once again, along with having to fight and dodge the attacks of the Storm King.
Okay, weak points.
Weak point.
If you are working with a partner, work with them, work with them, work with them. Communicate. Those weak points are going to appear. Work together.
Boom
Knock them
plants.
out. That's what's going to win this match.
Okay, you should be hitting
Also
down
on this
there at the
second
moment.
wave, you're going to notice that he is going to punch the ground and his hand is going to get stuck, or his arm is going to get stuck to the ground. That is an excellent opportunity to then go in and take
Oh, shoot,
those weak
I jumped
points
off.
out, because he's going to be stuck for a bit.
Oh, it's letting me back in.
As you can see, this is also low enough to where if you wanted to go in and use your sword, it's going to take a lot of damage to those points really quickly. And just like last time, in between those weak points, just patience, 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 and dodge those attacks. And of course, more enemies are going to spawn, so be mindful of them, take them out accordingly.
Oh, he built a...
And what's funny is he's going to throw everything at you, including the kitchen sink, like you saw. Kind of unique.
Wow. Yeah, this crossbow does a lot more damage.
You will also
now.
notice that the enemies will progressively get stronger, and you're going to be taking more damage. So be mindful and have your heals on the ready. I can't stress that enough. Also, if you haven't noticed, it is taking a little bit longer in between those weak points from appearing. So be patient and don't forget to dodge and take out those enemies in between. You're also going to notice that he's going to pound the ground once again, and this time he's going to get stuck, and the weak point is in his chest, so feel free to run up and get that with the sword as well. And just like that, we've got 2 out of the 3 weak points done in working towards that second horn. We're almost there, folks.
So you're just
Almost
dodging
there.
attacks.
Yeah.
That means we're back to dodging those attacks. Be mindful, be careful, be intentional in your movement.
The spawners.
And of course, once again, more enemies are spawning in with those spawners. So have fun, take them out, be careful, keep those heals on the ready.
Make sure you don't die. So you're going to want to have quick heals.
This is also the point in the game in which plants are spawning in that can explode as well. So on top of having to fight stronger enemies, you're having to dodge all these obstacle plants that, well, quite frankly, blow up and make it hard for you. Did I mention the sky is starting to fall as well? Yeah, that's right. We got stuff falling from above, and this can hurt you.
Okay.
But here we go. We got the last of the 3 weak points exposed, and it's time to go in for them. But just like before, if we time it just right, he will eventually punch into the ground and get his arm stuck, making it easier for you to get those weak points.
He's going to stick his hand in there.
Until that happens, make sure you are dodging all of those attacks and get shots in where you can. That's going to be the big part of being able to defeat the Storm King. And just like before, make sure you are consistently communicating with your teammate. If you have one, that's going to make it easier because you are both working together for a common goal.
Got another hit.
This was no easy task. The key that I just want to pass along to everybody is patience. Be careful and be mindful of all your attacks that you do and the attacks that are coming against you.
As soon as he comes down, it's best to get it.
And just like that, we have defeated all of the weak points, and now it's time once again to go after the last horn that is on his head. When he is stuck down, that is definitely the right time to go in and move in with your sword. It makes quick work to be able to get that horn. But we're not done yet.
Okay.
After you take out that second horn, the Storm King is now in a position to where you can attack, attack, attack. Use those crossbows each and every moment you can. It doesn't matter what part of the body you hit the Storm King on, you will count towards his health. Attack, attack, attack.
Yeah. And I think they,
This is the
turn
final
into
stage
crystals
in
or
defeating the
sometimes
Storm
burn
King
glass, too,
once
I
you
think.
get to this point. So just simply attack. But of
your
course the
heart.
sky is falling, so you know, watch out for that as well. And what battle wouldn't be complete with more underlings forming down there at the bottom trying to attack you as well, of course, right? As you can see, we are on the final push, and the goal here is to simply attack, attack, attack. And of course, this is it. We're getting excited, and
Almost got
bam.
him. Check your heart.
The last few arrows are shot, and he is now defeated, and we are victorious.
Yes. One more. I think we
That's
got it.
right, folks. Sir Laughs-A-Lot and I have defeated the Storm King. And what is there left that we have to do?
Victory dance.
Well, we gotta dance, of course, and
Yes.
celebrate.
Victory, victory, victory dance.
And there you have it, folks.
Yay.
Those are all the steps that you need to do in order to
We
get to
have
the Storm King
officially
and
defeated
defeat the Storm King.
and
If this
our-
video has
the
made it
ultimate
easier for you
survivors.
to do the same, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you have not done so already. I truly appreciate it.
Two people-
Thank you.
Born to team together.
And of course,
Both
until
completing
next
Ultimate
time,
Survivor
don't
Challenge
forget to keep
and then
gaming in your
coming together
crosshairs.
to defeat the Storm King.